Hello, I'm Flynn from Dystinct Magazine. Today we are going to talk with Donna, who created the Facebook page Science of Reading. What I should have learned in college. Hello, Donna.
Hello, Flynn. It's nice to meet you.
Thank you for joining us today. Would like to ask you some questions. But first, I've got one more thing to say. Today, my partner Slippers, my doggy.
Hi, Slippers.
When did you start helping people who didn't know how to read and write?
Well, when I became a teacher back in 1976, a long time ago, I had what it took, according to the college I went to. I got a degree and I started working with students in 1977. That was my first job.
How many people with learning differences would you have helped over the past?
Well, I put in about 41 years of, 41 years of working with students. And I was a teacher in a public school. I was also a private tutor. And so I would say several hundred students, maybe more like maybe 500 or 600 students. But
Wow, so
that's a
long.
lot. But something happened to me in 2019 that gave me little more numbers about who I've taught to help to read. And that is my Facebook page.
Why did you start the Science of Reading Facebook page?
So back in 2018 and 2019, I was doing some work for Wisconsin legislators, which means I was trying to pass a law to help kids with dyslexia. And it was very frustrating because during the time when you have a legislative bill to be passed, you have to testify to support it or testify to not support it. So I was testifying to support the bill. And I remember talking to the Senate Education Committee, and all these very important people were there. And I told them that I was frustrated with my training that I got in college because I didn't learn how to teach kids to read. And so that was the start of my Facebook page. Went home, and a few days later, I discovered that Facebook had groups. I had never known that before. And I started the group because I was upset that I didn't learn all this good information in college of how to teach kids to read.
Wow, so a long time and a few other things. So my next question is, when did you start it?
I started it on August 14th, 2019.
Wow, that's a long time ago. Who
It
is your
is.
target audience?
My target audience, I decided, would be parents, teachers, researchers, school administrators, and anyone else who's interested in learning about the science of reading.
What achievements have you made through the Facebook page?
That's a great question. This whole creation of this Facebook group has changed my life because now I am kind of a spokesperson for people who want to change reading for students. And so I'm asked to do lots of interviews, kind of like today, and other presentations at conferences. I'm going to be speaking at a conference next week. And in February, I'm going to be doing a presentation to legislators. So that's going to be a really important presentation. And so those are the achievements that I feel, but there's some achievements that you don't see. And those are the ones when I get people that write to me almost on a daily basis to thank me and my team for all the work we do to keep the Science of Reading page, Facebook page going, because it's a lot of work.
Ah, very interesting. I hear you are training in linguistic phonics. What is linguistic phonics?
Linguistic phonics is an approach that we use that begins with speech. So every boy and girl that comes to school can speak. And so if they can speak, they can learn to read and write. And so we use the sounds that come out of their mouths and turn those into letters that the student can read and spell. And so it's a faster way of learning how to read and spell. And so I've been trained in several approaches to teaching reading, and I thought I would give linguistic phonics a try because I was very intrigued by it. And it's not a very well-known approach, but we're hoping that it catches on with teachers and that they learn to be open to it and learn how to do it. Because we want to have boys and girls not be in tutoring for 3 or 4 or 5 years. We want them to be getting what they need in a short amount of time.
My next question is, what is it? How is it similar and different to synthetic phonics?
It's similar in that we use sounds to make words, but synthetic phonics begins with the whole word and then you break it down, whereas we're taking the word and breaking it down from the sounds, from speech into print. So it's different, where it's not print first, it's speech first. So hearing the sounds, then turning it into print. I know that's probably a little hard for you to understand, but that's what the difference is.
Okay. What are your viewpoints on these approaches?
Well, I believe that all teachers and parents should be open to different viewpoints on approaches. Because if we only use one approach and if we think that that's the only way that we can teach someone, then we're kind of being closed-minded. I'd like to be open-minded to find out all the different ways that there are to teach reading. And if one is better than the other, then I think I want to use the one that's better. Or works for my students better.
Would you recommend people getting trained in one particular approach or both approaches?
That's a great question. As I told you before, I was trained in another approach. It's called Orton-Gillingham. And I used it for 30 years. Long time. But now I'm wondering, is there a more efficient and effective way? And so getting trained in another approach is a really good thing to do because it gives the teacher options and a better understanding of what a student might need, and it helps the teacher grow professionally.
Okay. We have people listening from across the world. What part of the United States of America do you like the most?
Oh my goodness, that's hard to say because the United States is filled with different sorts of landforms. We have mountains and flatlands and rivers and lakes. Let's see, I would say I probably like the Midwest because that's where I live.
Okay, so my next question is, what is a fun fact about you?
Well, a fun fact about me is about 3 years ago, I learned to scuba dive. And so my husband and I, we are certified divers and we can go and dive around the world if we wanted to see fish and sea creatures and coral and all kinds of things under the water. It's been a very fun experience for me.
Oh, wow. So thank you, Donna, for having an interview today.
Thank you for having me. It was an honor to be with you and Slippers.
Well, Slipper's happy too.
I'm so
She's
glad.
looking for more students. Thank you, everyone, for listening. That's Dystinct